call to order the town board meeting. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee McKinney?
Here.
Trustee Fisher?
Here.
Trustee Deteen?
I'm here.
Trustee McDowell?
Here.
Chairman Neal?
Here. You can rise for the pledge of allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any agenda changes this evening? Hearing none, moving on to item number 5, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting held August 15th, 2017 at 6:30 p.m. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second. Go ahead.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee McKinney?
Aye.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee Deteen?
Aye.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Next item, are there any citizens' comments this evening? Going once, twice. Moving on to authorized bills for payment, Trustee Deteen.
Yes, I had the honor of meeting with the Township Supervisor today and discussed the bills, and the total amount that I'm asking my fellow trustees is $92,345.96.
Second.
Second, any discussion? Just want to mention one note, something on Assessor Wickett's financials. Somehow, some way, under, if you look on page, they aren't numbered again, under his financial statement, liability insurance, it says that we're way over budget. We had somehow, under the annual budget, put in $1,060 for liability insurance. That number should have been $2,960. We do not know what happened, but the budget that we passed had $1,060 on it. So we will be over on that line item this year. It won't be enough, it won't be 10% to throw anybody off anything, but I just want to make it clear that we're not sure how that number intermittently was not correct, but we will.
Why can't we amend it?
There's no need. I mean, we'd have to go through the whole process of having a public hearing, and if it was going to be over 10% of the category, we would need to, but it doesn't even come close. But I just wanted to make a note, make sure everybody knows about that.
I did see that.
Yeah, yes, thank you. Yeah. We were like, uh-oh. I'm sure you were like, so yeah, so just, yes, you know, to be noted for everybody moving forward with that, that will be over. We have a motion to discuss, and no further discussion. Please call the roll.
Trustee McKinney?
Aye.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee Deteen?
Aye.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. Next item on the agenda is consider approval of the Zion Township Supervisor's Office cell phone policy agreement for Chairman Neal. Last few months we worked on the employee handbook, and on page 20, you don't have to have this, I'll read it to you. On page 22 of the handbook, it just says cell phones. It says, due to the nature of our business and clientele, qualified employees and elected officials will be reimbursed a predetermined amount per month, as determined by Supervisor Neal, or by their supervisor, to put towards your personal phone bill. This benefit does not apply to Township Assessor's Office employees. We put this in place when I had originally gotten elected. The Township actually provided a cell phone for every employee in the office. Thought that was way overkill, but recognizing that the clientele that we do serve, their backgrounds, most people would not be comfortable with by, you know, in any situation. And we have never had a problem ever, but as a safety precaution, one, for the staff, we provide a stipend to make sure that they have a cell phone so that they can call for help. And then the other piece to it is if we ever needed them, if there was a crisis or anything that went on in the community, they agree that they are available, you know, with when it's off hours. So just like the a drug test that we do, and we have all the employees sign off on in the employee handbook, thought it would probably be important to include in the handbook a sign off for them, recognizing that this stipend is specifically, one, to help protect them, and two, to make sure that they know that they're on call. And we're setting that with that. So I included this I included a copy of the signed sheet with everybody's signature on it stating that information. But I also wanted to just, have it come before you guys and have everybody agree with it, or not, have a discussion and make sure we're all on the same page that that is the appropriate protocol for the township. And so, information. So is there a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
A second?
Second.
Any discussion? Any feedback on it? Everybody's okay with it?
That's good.
Okay, good. I appreciate that very much. So that's it. Please call the roll.
Trustee McKinney?
Aye.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee DeTeen?
Aye.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. Item 9, consider approval of Zion Township Vehicle Use Agreement per Chairman Neal. So in the past, we had 2 vehicles or 2 vans. We now have 1 van, and we had different situations where the principal of the junior high would call and see if he could use the van to transport the student council kids over to Rolling Hills, or one of the student council advisors would call to see if they could use the van to transport their kids from one of the grade schools. Our summer work program supervisors, they're basketball coaches, so if they ever had a tournament, they would call and see if they could use the van to transport the kids. And we did have an agreement, and originally, and when he called to ask for it, I kind of put the brakes on everything and said, okay, let's relook at this and make sure that we're on the up and up with what we're doing. And so I sent over the agreement that we had to the attorney, and they rewrote it for us, and I feel much more comfortable with this agreement. But I did want to bring it before us, and I really appreciated oh no, that was the other thing. I appreciated the conversation I had with Chris Fisher about it, in that having something also in writing as to who can use the van and under what
Criteria.
yes.
Yeah.
For doing that. So I appreciated that, and spoke to my staff about it, and next month at the next board meeting, we'll bring back something, a policy in regards to that really lays it out as far as who can and under what situations we would allow it to be used. And so, so that said, we do have a vehicle use agreement in front of us, and is there a motion?
I got a couple questions before.
Yeah. Should we do the motion and then discussion, or, yeah,
I'll make the motion, we approve it.
okay,
I'll second.
okay, discussion.
With the insurance, from a liability standpoint, when we're transporting people, will the policy will cover that?
It will. And so
Okay.
our insurance policy covers it. The original agreement we had said that the driver was responsible for that, and I knew that that couldn't even hold up, because that's what auto insurance is for.
Right.
But in the policy, it does state that we do have to have signed permission, if we're transporting kids, that they have a signed permission slip from the parent that they can be transported with it. And that's part of this agreement that we will
Okay.
have. Thank you for asking that. Any other questions? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee McKinney?
Aye.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee DeTeen?
Aye.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. Item 10, consider office lease agreement between Zion Township and NACASA per Chairman Neal. Last month I brought to you the concept of having NACASA come and use space at the township, and met with Executive Director Bruce Johnson and one of his team members and walked through, and we think it's a perfect fit. What we're looking to do is they would like to use the space on Mondays and Tuesdays. They will be open on Mondays until 7 p.m. They will install a wireless doorbell. So if an individual comes for services after we close at 4:30, they would ring the bell. The social worker would go to the door, unlock the door, and let them in to provide services. Talk to them about the agreement of having it be $100 a month, and I got an email today from Bruce Johnson that said, in regards to the contract, just an additional couple of things, that NACASA will need a 30-day out clause and at least that much time from the township in case we have to relocate. Can we come to an agreement on heat and all other costs? And so instead of having it be $100 a month, have $125 a month to cover heat and extra stuff. So he actually asked if we could raise it from $100 a month to $125 a month to cover extra So it's up to us what, you know, how we want to move forward, so. So that said, is there a motion?
And the end date will be corrected on the final copy?
Yes.
Okay.
So that was one of the things I appreciated Chris calling and saying, by the way, do you mean April 31st, 2018? So yes, I already corrected it on
Okay.
the final copy.
I'll move to approve at the monthly rent level of $125.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Excellent. Any further discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee McKinney?
Aye.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee Matteen?
Aye.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. Just a little bit of feedback. We put together this contract in-house. I would like to send it over to the attorney and just have him look it over and make sure there's nothing else that we missed prior to having the official sign. And so seeing as you approved it, you want to pass those down? Here's a notice. We made a flyer for once it got approved. It just says Nacasa's moving to the Zion Township office. They will be putting that out to everybody moving forward. Okay. Assessor's report.
Well, I know I was sitting here last month saying, boy, it seems like it's gonna be an easy appeal season. Well, it turned out to be a pretty bad year. We've had over 500 appeals this year.
Wow.
And that's a lot of paperwork, that's a lot of looking for comparables and doing a lot of research. We're ready to start our hearings next Wednesday, and so we're really busy right now. In fact, Sherry forwarded this to me the other day. The county sends out a list of taxpayers that are requesting a $100,000 reduction, and we've got about 20 of them. And I thought maybe the board would be interested in hearing these, because some of these are kind of comical in a way, because one of them is Country Inn Suites that's filing an appeal, and they're looking for almost $1 million reduction. But then I've heard that they're coming in asking for TIF money. So I kind of wonder how that is. They're asking for a reduction in their assessment, but they're on the other hand, they're asking money for TIF. So I think you guys should keep that in the back of your mind. They're asking for over $1 million reduction.
Can you tell us based on what? Why do they feel like?
You know what, I have not even looked at it yet. I have the paperwork right here. It's just saying that they're looking for a reduction in their assessed value of $335,000, which that's assessed value, so you multiply that by 3, so that's over $1 million. Right now, our office is working on residential appeals, because they're the ones that are set first, and the more complicated ones are set at the end. So they're looking for $335,000 reduction. What else did I have? The Warwick building, I think we're all aware of who owns that building. He's looking for a $600,000 reduction. Interesting, another one interesting, 2723 Sheridan Road, Market Square. They're looking for 159 and 121. So they're looking at almost $800,000 reduction on that building. And I think the city has been pretty generous with Market Square. So these are some of the bigger ones, but I just thought maybe the board would like to know who's filing $100,000 appeals. And that's about all I have for this evening.
Any
You
questions?
guys have any questions?
Okay. Thank you. So when are the appeals done?
Well, when all the hearings are done.
I mean, is there like a deadline that they have to be done?
Well, there
by
is
here?
a deadline this year, but this year has been kind of heavy. I looked at some of the numbers. If you think 531 complaints is bad, Vernon Township has 2,300 complaints.
Wow.
So that means what you do is every day you go to the hearings at the courthouse. And I wish some of you guys would come sometime, because What I do is we have 30 people. Every 15 minutes I have somebody come in and I'm trying to defend our values. So you divide, 30 divided by 50 or 500, and that's how many days of hearings I have. So you can imagine other townships that have thousands of appeals, how crazy it is. I mean, it gets so wearing after about the 5th or 6th or 7th day. It's nuts. But to answer your question, this year will probably, all the hearings will be done probably by the end of December. And so if you think it's bad for the assessors, just think about the county, how they have to schedule all these hearings and hear all these hearings. So it's quite the process. And then after the hearings are done, then they come up with the tax rates, and then we start this all over again.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. Thank you, Assessor Wickens. Next item on the agenda is Supervisor's report announcements. I have my report for you. We will be beginning the LAHEAP applications. We're going to be doing it on Tuesdays this year from 1 until 3 o'clock. And we will be posting the information on our website as to what forms and things people need to be bringing in. We have scheduled dates for all of the senior buildings already to go there and help them with those applications. And that will be just myself and Adriana that will go to the buildings, and then Sandra and Brittany will stay at the office to man things there. We had the job fair last Wednesday that Senator Bush's office spearheaded. The attendance wasn't as good as we had hoped. We had put together the plan to do a training day the week before that, but because the information didn't get out soon enough, I really didn't want to bring in the presenters and do all the work and have my staff there. So we decided to shrink it, and instead we had a miniature one at the Job Center of Lake County where they just provided the program on how to prep for a job fair. And Adriana went to it, and it was a really good program, but it wasn't a big turnout. So Nick, Melinda Bush's executive director, or whatever the title is for his position, Melinda, Marilyn Krieger, and I started doing some brainstorming on how to get more advertising out, more people at next year's event, and seeing about the date for that. So grateful that they're willing to do the job fair in our community every year. It was a huge, they had over 70 employers at the event. Still, I'm meeting with the supervisor from Benton Township on a regular basis. Right now, we're just going through budgets and comparing what the cost would be to, if there were to be one township, what the amount would be to run it. And he and I had a long conversation about, and then what? The whole and then what. And so what we decided was we were just going to just take the next step in the conversation and get the information and bring it back to you guys and decide from there what the then what would be. And so, but we will stay on track to get as much information as we can for you guys. We're still in process with hiring a DHS intern, somebody that's on TANF, that we can train to work at a social service agency. The gentleman that we're working with, Willie Lewis, he's been interviewing people. There hasn't been anybody that fit it, but I got in contact with Lily Watson, who works for Lake County Housing Authority Family Self-Sufficiency Program, and she's actually a Zion Benton Leadership Academy graduate, and she believes that she might have some good candidates. So she's going to get with Willie Lewis at the DHS office and see if we can't continue on with making that a reality. NACASA, we voted to move forward with that. They want to have a ribbon cutting at 4:30 before our meeting next month. So anybody that wants to stop over there at 4:30, we're just going to do a little welcoming for them. Next is ELF Network. So just to update everybody on what we've done over the years. When I first got elected, we had a number of organizations that adopted families for Christmas. And I met with a social worker at Shiloh Park School, Brenda Latz, and her concern was that there were only a few families that were actually getting assistance because they were on all of the lists. And so the agencies all thought that they were helping a whole bunch of people, but really it was a small number of families that were getting help. So I worked with her to create a system where we had one list. So we got the names of the families from Catholic Charities and Maristella and all the different agencies, and then we just notified the families that we would be notifying the agencies, just so that they would know, you know, if they wanted to serve, you know, the same family, that was fine, but we just wanted to try and reach more families in that situation. So we did that for a number of years. A few years ago, we decided that we wanted to improve it a little bit. Instead of just handing out stuff, we wanted to make it have more meaning for families. So one of the things that we required, and in order for a family to get put onto the list for Christmas, they would go to their school social worker. The social worker would fill out an application for them, and it would get faxed to our office, and we would just manage the list. We wouldn't have any control over who was on the list, just we would manage the list for them. What we agreed with the social workers was that there would be kind of a scoring system, that the families that were really trying, that they were getting their kids to school and that they were showing up for the parent-teacher conferences, those things, that they would be higher on the priority list as far as making it if we had to have a cutoff. As well, we wanted to have every family come in and meet with myself or Adriana just to find out what their situation is and if there's other agencies that can help and how we can support them in doing that. And then the third piece to it was having them go to a class with Gregorio Resendez from CAP on the budgeting class. Even if an individual has no income, they still have expenses, and helping them to see how that plays out and give them just some more tools to help them in their family. So we did that for a couple of years, and what we found was we spent hour after hour after hour calling these families. You missed your appointment, rescheduling, you missed your appointment, rescheduling. And what we decided to do this year is, hopefully it will be of huge benefit, but I left one on each of your desks. We've created the ELF Network Participation Card. And it says the ELF Network is a coordinated holiday gift program. It was established in Zion to help families in need receive gifts and get connected to agencies for additional assistance. ELF Network is more than gifts. Gifts and groceries provided by Santa's Helpers, an organization in Chicago that provides gifts and food and jewel gift cards. A 3-course Christmas dinner provided by Christ Community Church, as well as now all the manpower through the youth group to go down on the Saturday morning to help Santa's Helpers. Connections to agencies that exist to provide services that support families, and clothing items, including children's clothing and coats offered by Love Inc. To guarantee a spot on the list, you can either enroll in Love Inc.'s Affirming Potentials program or complete 3 of the 7 opportunities listed on the back. These are sure to enrich your life as well as your families. Return the participation card to Zion Township to complete an application. The first 50 cards turned in will be included in the 2017 ELF Network program. And then we said this program is designed to subsidize holiday gifts and does not provide all the gifts for family members. So on the back of the card, you can either sign up. Love Inc. is putting on a program called Affirming Potentials class. It's an 11-week group class evaluating the physical, emotional, relational, and spiritual areas of life. It builds on the foundation that we have intrinsic worth and unique potential. Participants learn how to use the AP Dream Tool, which helps individuals set and achieve goals and steps to live out their God-given potential. So they have the choice between enrolling in this class to be in the ELF Network, or they can do any of the 3 of the 7 of these. They can come for a resource appointment with myself or Adriana. They can attend the financial workshop offered by CAP. They can meet with NACASA Family Advocacy Program. They can attend parenting classes at Family Resource Center. Any of the programs offered at the Job Center of Lake County. They can attend any of the programs at the Zion Benton Public Library, or attend any school program, including PTO or a one-on-one with the teacher. So they can choose 3 of these 7 things, participate in those, get it signed off, and bring it in. And the first 50 families to turn in the cards will be the 50 families that will be in the ELF Network this year. So we're putting that out, and what this does is it really puts the onus on the families. And there were 2 things that concern me about doing this. One is parents who really don't have the capacity to do these things. And what do? And so we're meeting with the school social workers next Wednesday to talk to them. And if there is a parent that is in that situation, they will have the parent just meet with me or Adriana, and we will verify that and just work with them to see what other ways we can support them and sign off and have them be a part of it. The other situation is for people that feel like that by providing these different opportunities for free that can enrich their life, that they don't recognize the value in that. They feel like it's just hoop jumping. I contacted Clyde McLemore, and at Christmas time the last couple of years, they've had a huge event over at Herman Center. And so I asked him if they do that again, if we can have those flyers, and families that aren't interested in doing this, we'll give them that flyer so that they have another opportunity for Christmas. So it's going out on a little bit of a limb, but I think it's crucial for really helping people to be blessed over the holiday instead of just handing out stuff all the time. So I'm curious, any feedback on that specifically?
I think it's a good direction. I've been involved with the Elf Network for a while. And one of the ways to truly help families is develop relationships in our community. And the Affirming Potential class is designed to do that, to have a mentor for each of the participants. And the Elf Dinner is also designed to develop relationships with people in our community. So to hear stories, sit across the table, and have a meal together. There's no pressure on anyone's part. Those that attend from our community, hopefully they'll connect. And that would be great if that happens.
I just wanted to kudos to Christ Community Church because they stepped up in a huge way with the packaging of all the gifts and hosting this incredible dinner, and the kids do the serving, and I mean it's just really a powerful thing. And to find out that the Affirming Potentials course was moved over to CCC because the issue with Loving doing the program was childcare. There was no childcare, and you guys have the Awana program, including a nursery, so it was really perfect to move it over there so that nobody would be turned away, that had childcare issues or anything. So really positive thing. So thank you to CCC for that. Christ Community Church. Any other feedback on this? Because if there's blowback, it's coming back on all of us, just so you know. But I really feel like it's a step in the right direction for our community during the holiday. Just a couple other things. The Secretary of State DMV, we work with them to bring them here once a year, and they will be here on, who's got that flag?
October 17th.
Yes, October 17th from 10 until 2 at the library. They do driver's license, state IDs, vehicle sticker sales, organ donor information, and they also provide, thank you, a rules of the road class for individuals, and that lowers their insurance. So that's an incredible thing. And then Zion Benton Leadership Academy is kicked off and going well. We have 7 participants this year, and I'm really proud of them. A host of them are from Zion. I will hopefully have them here just to introduce themselves sometime during the season. Let me just go through this. And just for you guys to know, the Lake County Township officials, we have an organization for the entire county, and every 2 years they swear in a new board. I'm the outgoing president, thank God, and this year Benton Township is the host of this dinner, and it's going to be at Thunderhawk, and so I put it on your board report. It will be on Wednesday, October 4th. At 6 p.m. at Thunderhawk. If any of you would like to go, it would be wonderful. I think it would be a first to have representation from the trustees, so that would be wonderful. And then additionally, I've got the monthly report of just the service report of what we do every month. If anybody would like a copy of that, it's always on our website. And then just one last thing. I got an email from the Coalition for Healthy Communities, and there is a program that the health department is doing called Mental Health First Aid, and it's a full day class to teach adults how to be aware when a kid is in serious duress and what to do about it. And what they shared with us is that the healthy youth at the high school feel so strongly about this that they are paying for 30 adults to go through this program, that the kids desperately want the adults to be trained in this. And so I contacted Deb Will about it and decided that this was important enough information with our summer work program and the different ways that my entire team is involved in the community, that I really feel compelled that we need to close the township office and have all 4 of us attend this training. But based on that, we put together a protocol for closing the office that I'll share with you more next month. And just to run it through really quick, that we will have a message on the phone, we will do a press release for the local paper, we will put it on our website, do it in our email newsletter, have a note on the door, and then people can sign in if they need us to call them back. And then I'll announce it at 2 board meetings prior to us closing for a day, so that there is full disclosure, so that everybody that we can make sure that they know that we're closing. And in the press release, we'll make sure that we share why we're closing, so that people just don't think we're taking a day off to,
Just leave your cell phone number.
Yeah, maybe I won't do that. I might leave like the assessor's phone number. That
Well, we
they
just
can call.
approved, a stipend for it, so.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. So, yeah, that's everything. So is there anything else to come before the board? Hearing nothing, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, motion second, discussion. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee McKinney?
Aye.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee Hussein?
Aye.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. Meeting adjourned. Hello, Ms. Paula. How are you?